the ancient Romans mix, they used small gravel and coarse sand together with lime and water and volcanic ash, pozzolana, named after the town of Pozzuoli near Mount Vesuvius. To reduce shrinking, they used horsehair, much like we use polypropylene fibers today. They even entrained the air in the mix, a process that creates small bubbles in the concrete, makes the mix more durable. The Romans did this by adding animal blood.
When I arrived in 1949, concrete was not known in this country. I used to go around with a suitcase full of concrete and heavy to see architects, engineers, and builders. The same case and the finishes that I used to present to them. But they didn't understand, because here was used around in Sydney was only sandstone, wood, and bricks. But today, you can see what we have here. Look through these buildings, they are done all in precast concrete, in situ concrete. Very, very little steel has been used, and very, very few bricks.
Australia's tallest building towers 384 feet skywards. This is the building Sydney-siders and thousands of visitors know today. A building of advanced design planned for functional efficiency.
Our MP, it was the first job we do it. It was a good job, but hard, believe me. Everything by hand, you know. When we finished 3:30, the ham, it was like this. And the people, a lot of people got stand up for the back too, because we could, you know, stand up the back, because when you build the barrel all died, they hang like that, and your body put a 25 degrees to the front. And when you finish, everybody was enjoying, oh, that's why we got it, you know, just thank you, God, we finished for today.
You must understand, the Italians, they work in the concrete in 50 and the 60 here in Australia, okay? The concrete, not in the blood, it was in their head. Let me give you an example, okay? Let me tell you a story. When we come here in Australia in 1959, we tried to find a house for moving. But the problem with this house was the toilet was outside. I live in Florence. In one house it was older than Julius Caesar, but we have the toilet inside. In Australia, this is a bloody strange country. They keep the dog inside and the toilet outside. I went to working and I asked this concrete Italian man. He said to me, why you care about the toilet? You don't need the toilet inside or outside. You take it to work. He said, I never go in toilet in the morning. I take it to work. I serve in toilet pipe, I serve in water, I don't know how to clean the toilet. For come to work, I have to catch a bus, to train and walk for 20 minutes. I can't take it to work. And what about the bloody weekend? You see, this is the mentality of the most of the people that come here.
I was born in Calabria, south of Italy. Calabria to me was childhood, you know, grandmother and grandfather stuff, going to the vineyard and all that sort of stuff. As soon as we arrived in Australia, it was a whole new world. It was almost as though I fell into making money. I fell into, this is a place, gee, you know, you can make money, it's got so many opportunities, you can buy what you want, you can do this, you can do that. My father was a great worker and a great tradesman. He knew how to do lots of things. As the bricklayer, Italian bricklayer, is taught to do roofing and tiling and rendering and bricklaying, etc. But my father didn't speak English very well. His conversation was limited in English, unfortunately. And so I was the businessman, if you like. I had to go out and I had to get work. Well, Queen Victoria Building was just a wonderful opportunity that I was so glad to be involved and to have been given that opportunity. It was a very involved job. It was a job which actually involved me personally on the job. I took pride in coming here 7 o'clock in the morning and actually being on the job myself because it was so important to me. Plastering is an art form. If you look at a lot of this stuff that was done in the Queen Victoria Building back in the 1800s, it was run by hand. And most of the arches you see, most of the moulds you see, were run freehand.
It was such a rare opportunity for these thousands of workmen to come together in a building such as this, because here were master craftsmen who had the opportunity of working on something that they knew was going to be unique in Sydney, if not Australia. I remember a particular instance where I was down on the lower level watching two men plastering one of the huge columns. And I rarely stopped to actually observe for long periods what the men were doing. But with these two, I just couldn't help myself because they were like ballet dancers. Slapping plaster on in a seemingly nonchalant manner, but they were doing it with such perfection and precision, and I knew from my limited plaster work how difficult that would be. And I just stood there in awe, and they had no idea that I was watching them.
The relationships for me at the best of times have never been easy. But when she came into my life, I mean, things had really changed. She was really different. I mean, I'd never experienced anything so solid before. And one day the carpet guy, wielding a roll of carpet, came into our lives. He struck a blow to the relationship that had just changed our lives forever.
I first met Vince back in the late 80s when he was involved in a dance studio and a production company. I just moved to Sydney and my ambition was to be a professional dancer.
When I met her, I just thought that the sunshine shone out of every pore of her.
And at that stage he was looking for dancers to be part of his cabaret show.
I remember her just coming in and opening the door. It was like a breath of fresh air coming into the studio.
The very first time I walked into this place, it was a shock. I had never seen anything like it. What are these people doing? How diverse, you know, here's me thinking, here's Vince, this entertainer that I work for, and yet I walk in here and it says, you know, there's a pile of sand and bags of cement and balustrade moulds. It was a complete shock. I had no idea.
Yeah, she's completely changed my life around from being a vagabond, not so much a vagabond, you know, a wanderer. You know, I was in the show business, you know. People would say, you know, let's go here, and I would do it. You know, let's go and sing there, and I would go. You know, she's stabled me. She's sort of putting nails on my shoes.
The strangest thing was with his hands, after seeing him working here and then seeing him play the piano or seeing him lift the girls or spin the girls, hold the microphone, was just bizarre. The transition that I had to make going from showgirl to concreting was a major transition. Complete change of life. I knew nothing about concrete, absolutely nothing. I grew up on a farm, so any knowledge that I had of anything other than showbiz was how to pick cherries, how to grow cherries. All of a sudden, I had to know about concrete, what a mixed ratio was.
I remember when I was at school, my friends would talk about going to the football or the cricket with their dads on the weekend. My dad, he'd take me concreting. This uncle's garage, that cousin's driveway. No council approval. Just a plate of pasta, a litre of wine, and we'd concrete until the sun came down. By the time my friends were 15, 16, they could replay in slow motion every type of football tackle. Me, I could lay a slab and put up a garage.
Mi mancherai, lo sai. Mi mancherai tanto, sì lo so. I miei giorni saranno vuoti senza te. Cosa fare?